Hello. Today I want to share with you an amazing restored marriage testimony. This testimony really meant a lot to me, not because I was the one in adultery, but it shows here in the first part how the Lord is just able to turn hearts around. She, in the beginning she talks about how she was just unhappy in her marriage and felt empty and she just wanted out, and when she reached the point where she was just finished, the Lord turned her heart around and she wanted her marriage and her husband back. But by that time, the Lord also turned her estranged husband's heart, but he turned it away from her and hardened it. So he didn't really want anything to do with her anymore. So she talks about what happened next, and then she found How God Can and Will Restore Your Marriage book. And she says it really opened her eyes to understand the situation, her sins that contributed to the destruction of the marriage, and she understood who she could be in him. And it gave her hope, real concrete hope, no matter what happened. And she felt different. Then she just goes on to explain about her guilt, and she knew from the lessons that she had to confess her sins to her husband, and the battle she fought because she was scared of what's going to happen if she confessed. But she did confess, and then after that she just talks about how she really built a relationship with her heavenly husband, how she started to put him first in her life and in her heart, and he just did an amazing miracle in her life afterwards, and he restored her hearing, which is so amazing because it just shows us that with God everything is possible. So she goes on here and tells us about the relationship with her heavenly husband and how she just grew closer to him, to a point where she was so content that the restoration didn't matter to her that much anymore. So when she reached that point, her husband asked her to go with him to a family reunion, and she went and they had a good time, and she must have thought that that was her restoration, but it still wasn't. So she grew impatient when she didn't hear from him, and she took matters into her own hands, and she got rejected again. And then over here, which meant a lot to me because I went through basically the same struggle, and that is to truly let go. And I think we all go through this, but she just explains here how she struggled and prayed and talked to the Lord about it and was determined to just let go and move on. And once she reached that point, it happened and her marriage was restored. So I'm going to leave the link to this testimony at the bottom. Please read it. It's so encouraging. Thank you.